Welcome to an altered art box tutorial. This box is great to be used as a handmade card storage. It could also be used as a special gift, or you could use it as a special keepsake box and pull it out for each holiday season year after year. I'm Charee Filimoehala here at the G45 office, and I'm excited for you to learn how to take our Joy to the World collection and turn it into a beautiful box. You're gonna learn how to take some of our detailed papers and do some fussy cutting to create some really great dimensional embellishments. You're also gonna learn how to take our pattern paper and turn it into a border, a pleated border, which is really fun and can be used over and over again. And this, of course, is all a part of our Club G45. This is volume 10 for 2019. And along with this box, this month, we are also going to be creating the super cute holiday card trio. Both of these projects have been created for us by the elegant and classy Robin Shakur. If you've yet to join Club G45, you can find all the details on how to do so on our website at g45papers.com. And you can also find our store locator on our website as well. So go ahead and grab your fussy cutting scissors and let's get started. In the Club G45 Volume 10 kit, you are going to receive one of these fabulous book boxes. This is our regular size, and it also comes with 3 craft tags on the inside and a binding ring. So there's a lot to work with here that you're going to get in your kit. You're also going to get some of these scrapbook adhesive 3D foam frames, our brand new ornate metal corners. You get 8 of those corners in there. In your kit, you'll also get one of these color project sheets. And of course, if you are just playing along with us with your own goodies at home, you can print this out in the link below. You'll also get one of our Joy to the World collection packs. This comes with 2 of each 8 double-sided 12 by 12 papers and 2 sheets of our cardstock stickers. And you can see the weight of these cardstock stickers has been increased, so it's a really great thick new sticker. And you get 2 sheets of those. And you'll also get one of our Graphic 45 Color Box Decades inks. This is our dark cashmere. And then last but not least, you'll get 2 sheets of our die cut tags and pockets. These are double-sided, and you get a lot of different things in here to work with. So let me show you what we're going to be making in this tutorial. We'll be making this super cute storage box, and you can see there's a lot of dimension going on here. We're also going to learn how to antique up some of our metal pieces using some white acrylic paint. And then we'll be creating this super fun paper border and some nice fussy cuts. And of course, we'll be decorating the box with our beautiful Joy to the World papers. And you could use any Graphic 45 papers you've got in your stash to create this gem, or you could go ahead and pick up the Club G45 Volume 10 kit and play along with us. For step 1, you're going to grab your project sheet and follow along with me. We're going to be taking our flat corners and we're going to be antiquing them and adding some white or ivory paint to shabby chic those. I'm going to show you 2 different ways, 2 different looks. So like this one, you can see there's a lot of the black and grays still visible, the less ivory paint, and then this one has a more shabby chic antiqued look. So you can see there's quite a bit of a difference, and I'll show you how to do both. Pull out your flat corners, and then these other 4 that have more of a dimension, these we're going to just put aside and you can use on a project in the future. And then I'm going to use some ivory white acrylic paint. You can use whatever you've got in your stash or what you like the best. Just on a craft mat surface. You can either take one of these paint brushes, sponge brushes, or a makeup sponge, or you could just use your finger. So to get started, let's go ahead and I'm gonna do two different looks. So the one that's the more antique look, the more white, and I'm just going to put quite a bit of paint on two of these. I'm still leaving the holes and the intricate details visible. So that's just one layer, but now doing my other look where it's just a more simple look where you can still see some of that brass. Just taking the paint and kind of dabbing it on there, like so. And then if you can just use your finger to knock off a little bit of that, so you can see that you still have some nice dimension with the dark colors, and then there's some nice shabby chic ivory paint as well. So doing the same to this other one. And just get it how you like it. And then voila, we'll just set these aside to dry. These other ones that we are going to get to be a little bit more white, we're going to go ahead and set these aside to dry as well. And while these are drying, I'm just going to clean up my mat just a bit, and then add another layer of the white acrylic to those and set these aside to dry. Step 2, the inside of the box. We are going to cut our Heavenly Choir, the B side, to be 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. And then we want this piece to be vertical, so you want your words to be right side up. So make sure when you're cutting this, you're going to be cutting 2 1/4 by 6 3/4. And this is from the B side of Peace on Earth. From our Hallelujah paper, we are going to cut out this Christmas bells tag just from the center of the page, and then we'll be cutting out a strip from the border, and this is going to be 4 3/4 inch long. Now we're just going to finish cutting out our tag, so snipping off those edges. And then using a hole punch or a crocodile, we are going to punch out that hole in the tag like so. And then I'm going to take some coordinating ribbon that's 4 inches long, and this is just going to go through our tag. Let's do folding that 4-inch piece in half. I'm going to thread it through the front and then have those tails just go through that hole and then slightly pull down to tighten. I don't want to tighten it too hard or fast because this is just a piece of paper that we don't want to rip through. So just wiggle that down, and then once you've got that how you like it, you can go ahead and trim your tails. Step 3, the inside compartment pieces. We're going to be cutting Anthem Suite to be 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, and then we'll be cutting 2 of these Heavenly Choir strips. These are 6 1/4 by 2 inches, and then we want 2 of our short strips, and these are going to be 4 1/4 by 2 inches. So these are going to be horizontal, so we want our writing to be this way. And for the outside of the box, we're going to cut 2 strips from Hallelujah that are going to be 6 3/8 by 2 1/8. And then we will cut our short sides of the box from Anthem Suite, and this will be 4 1/4 by 2 1/8, and we'll have 2 of those. Step 4, we are going to cut 2 pieces of Heavenly Choir that are going to be 4 3/4 by 7 inches. And then we're going to cut a spine piece that's going to be vertical, that's going to be 2 1/4 by 7 inches. Step 5, we're going to be doing some front cover work. This is going to be from Hallelujah. It's going to be 3 1/2 by 4 1/4. And then from Peace on Earth, we are going to be cutting a strip that's going to be 12 inches by 2 inches. And then from our signature sheet, Joy to the World, we're going to be doing some fussy cutting. So we are going to cut out this piece here with the large angel and the banner that says "Joy to the World." And we will also be fussy cutting out this trio of angels. So now that I've cut out this piece, so I'm not working with that giant 12 by 12, I can start my fussy cutting. So we are going to be fussy cutting around this banner, around the angel, and then we're going to grab part of that candle and some of the greenery. You know, it's nice to get out all your cuts in the beginning, so then you can put away your trimmer and some of your other things and focus on having a good time. I always really like when you're working to be putting away some of your tools you know you're not going to be using later on. That way your table doesn't get as cluttered. You can keep the stress levels down a little bit that way. And when we're doing holiday crafting, we want to be stress-free. So I started cutting around her hair and not the wings. So be sure you're going to be grabbing those wings when you're fussy cutting this out. And then also a great tip is to be using the sharpest scissors you've got. Fine tip scissors, and then to kind of let the middle of the blade do the work, and then drive that paper on through. We just love fussy cutting here at G45, and this month's kit comes with the dark cashmere ink, which is going to be fun to use with some of these fussy cuts. So you can always use whatever ink that you like that coordinates, but that's what we'll be using, and we're going to be using that just to kind of ink around our edges, making each layer stand out, especially with our fussy cuts. So when it comes to this point, I'm going to go around her hand, but not up any higher. So then I'll just bring my cut down around this greenery, this garland, and cut there, and then bring it back into the candle. Cut off that excess there. And I'm going to grab a little bit of this, of the leaves of the holly, not all of them, but enough to add a little extra pizzazz to our cut. And this we're going to take around, but I'm going to snip off the very tail of my banner. That way I don't have anything too delicate on the cover of my box. Since this is going to be a piece that we're going to treasure for years to come, kind of want it to be a little on the sturdy side. Voila. All right, so now our acrylic corners, acrylic painted corners are dry. So you can just take some sandpaper or a nail file and just kind of sand off a little bit of that top layer of paint. Since these are beautifully ornate, it really makes those details stand out and gives it a really nice vintage shabby look. So you can just sand it as much or as little as you want until your desired look. Or of course you could just keep it painted as is. So here's our 3 different styles where you can see well, this one has a lot of those darker details still in there. The white and the shabby white. And of course, if you want, you can always sand off a bit of the paint on these lighter corners as well. Now taking that Decades ink, the dark cashmere, this is a really rich graphic 45 brown. You can take, if you've got an ink blending tool, you can take that and go ahead and just ink around our fussy cut piece edges. If you don't have one of these ink blending tools, you can go ahead and use a makeup sponge or whatever you've got in your stash that'll work. The nice thing about adding this nice brown ink to our fussy cuts is that once we add it onto our pattern paper, it'll really give it the extra dimension and make it stand out with that nice outline. And of course, if you want to take it to the next level, you can ink all the edges of your cut pieces that we've just cut out as well. So I've gone around the edge of this one and added my brown, and it's looking really good. All right, and then we're all inked up. So now we are going to be decorating this gorgeous book box. So we can just take off all the wrapping, and then your binding ring we will not be using for this project, so you can use that for something else. It's nice once you get 2 of these, you can do some really nice bindings for books and other things like that. And then these 3 tags we'll be using in our card tutorial, so we'll set those aside for that card tutorial that you'll want to be sure to do after this one's done. So this is our Heavenly Choir B-side that we cut out earlier. And this is just going to go on the inside flap of our box, like so. And you'll just want to find a good center point. So when I'm trying to find the best placement for things, I kind of like to lay one corner down and then look at the opposite corner and see if the spacing is about even. Now once I've determined I found the space that I like, you can go ahead and let that fall down, and then just taking a bone folder, you can work out any air pockets. Now taking our vertical strip of Peace on Earth that we cut for the inside, we are going to go ahead and make sure everything's right side up and adhere that to the inside of our box. And then now taking these cute little border pieces, we're going to take any kind of adhesive will work for this. We're just going to glue this flat down. And I want my diamonds on the top, so I'm just going to find about the center of my paper and adhere that down. And then taking our tag that we cut out and added the ribbon, I'm going to just use some dimensional foam, so you can use those. Now taking the super cute Christmas bells tag, we are going to just use some of our dimensional foam frames on this. So pulling out one of those sheets, oops, and then just grabbing one of these smaller frames. Maybe the 3rd one from the center will work just great, like so. And then I'm going to just put this on the back of my tag. Voila. And make sure you get it nice and adhered, and then you can pull off your layer. And then we're going to add this to the center of our inside flap. Step 7, we are going to do the inside compartment of our box. So first we are going to adhere our long strips, the B side of Heavenly Choir. And so just making sure that my words are right side up. I've added adhesive already to my piece, and then go ahead and burnish that down. And then I'll do the same with my other long side. So making sure my words are right side up when I'm looking at the box. And I want to find a good center spot. So it's nice to work with an adhesive that doesn't immediately permanently grab it and leave it there. So now I finally found my placement that I like, so I can go ahead and adhere that down. And now I'm just taking the pieces for our short sides that we cut for our inside box. And these are from Peace on Earth. And I just want to eyeball that it's about the same positioning as my side pieces, so everything is nice and consistent. Now working on our strips for the outside, we're going to take our Hallelujah strips and put these on the long sides on the outside of our box. So put one on the front, and then we'll put this one here. Now we are going to add our short strips on the outside. So these are our Anthems Suite. And then just kind of eyeballing to make sure that these are about the same height as your side pieces. And now in our inside compartment, we are going to add our B-side from Anthem Suite just in the bottom here. So just want to eyeball our placement of this. Looks good. So now you can just take something with a nice flat edge and make sure you're getting a good bond with your paper and the bottom of the box. Now we are going to take two of our metal corners that we shabbied up and then add some nice heavy duty liquid adhesive to the back flat side of here. And we are going to put one up in that top left hand corner of the inside of our box. And then we'll put the other one down in the bottom right. Perfect. Step 8, we are going to be working on the outside of our box. The first thing we want to do here is add our ribbon to the outside and then put our papers on. So we're going to need 40 inches of coordinating ribbon. I'm using a wide ivory satin ribbon that's 1.5 inches, but you can use anything that coordinates. Once you've done that, you're going to go ahead and fold it in half and then kind of try to mark where the center of your ribbon is. If you're using a satin, you can see kind of that crease will stay in there, so I know where my center point is. And then just taking any adhesive that you have. I like to use double-sided adhesive for putting ribbon onto albums and boxes. So I'm just adding my adhesive to my box, and now I'll take my bone folder to make sure it is adhered. And then pulling up my ends. I'm going to take the center of my ribbon, and that's just going to go right in the center of my spine. And then we can burnish our ribbon down. Now we are going to add our 2 pieces that we've cut of Heavenly Choir to our front and back of our box. And then we'll take our Peace on Earth vertical spine piece, and this is just going to go right in the center of our spine. Step 9, our front cover. We are going to be making our pleated border, our pleated fold. So we are going to be doing some scoring. So you want your scoreboard, or you can do this with a ruler as well. And we're going to score at 1 inch. And do that twice. And then we're going to score at 1.5 inches. And then at 2.5 inches. And then at 3 inches, 4, 4.5, 5.5, 6, 7, 7.5, 8.5. I'm sure you've picked up on the pattern by now. 9, 10, 10.5, and 11.5. So now we are going to score and fold, or now we're going to fold on all those score lines. So starting with our 1 inch piece, we are going to fold that, and we want to be creating a Z. So we'll fold that back and then over, and then just keep the pattern going. So you can see that the pleats start to create themselves when you're creating these Z's. And then just back and forth. And then our last and final 1/2 inch here will just fold down. So you will end up with a piece that looks like this. All right, so add some adhesive to about the bottom inch of your pattern paper. I'm using just some nice dry adhesive, and then taking our already folded pleated piece, I'm just going to kind of try to work this out. So I'm going to put my 1 inch piece down flush with the left hand side and the bottom, and then I will do the same on the right hand side with that 1/2 inch piece that just folds under. So make sure that that's getting nice and burnished down, and then just taking your accordion folded piece, we just kind of want to work this to make it fit in the provided space. So it's not going to fit perfectly, but that's what's going to give it its dimension. So, and then once you find how you want this all to fit, you can just burnish down on top of that adhesive. So you've got a bit of some nice pleats and folds, some movement on your box. All right, from your sticker sheet, we're going to be taking this nice floral border from the bottom, and we're going to trim to fit this to our photo mat, and we're just going to leave about 1/4 of an inch on the top. Just bring that all the way across, and then we will cut off our excess. And then this we can just put back onto our sticker sheet and use that little piece later. And then now we can adhere this just in the center of our box. And then taking our second sheet of the foam adhesives, I'm going to use that 3rd frame in from the center, and I'm going to put that right in the center of here. And then I'm going to use the 6th frame as well. So grabbing that from our pack, and this is just going to go right centered. And then once that's adhered, we can go ahead and pop this on the center of our box. So now we're going to take our angel trio, and then just with your thumbs, you just want to hold either side and then kind of roll it back and forth. This is going to kind of break down those fibers and then give it some nice curvature. And then it's going to also leave a little flat space on either edge as well. So roll that back and forth, and once you've got some good movement, you can't always take something round as well. Just making sure you don't pull off any of your fine details. But once you've done that, we're going to add some adhesive onto the back sides. So just a bit of adhesive like so. And then now we're going to add this to the center of our box cover, but we want to make sure that we don't adhere it down flat. We want to keep some of that bubbling that we've created on the background, and this is just going to go in the center like so. So now you can see it's got some really fun dimensional detail. And then we'll repeat this process with our other fussy cut piece. So if you want to curl it with a pen or something you've got, you can do that, or just rotate it back and forth between your fingers, giving it some good lively dimension. And now you're going to take your adhesive and just put a bit on the bottom part of our banner. So on either side, we'll add some dry adhesive. And now let's move our box right over. And then this, we are going to just make it fit on the bottom of our pleat. So leaving about a ½ an inch of our pleat showing. And keeping this nicely inside. Like so. So you can see that just provides some really great shadow, and you can see when you're looking at it from different angles, there's lots of detail to be had. And now from the sticker sheets, I have grabbed some of these circle elements, the ivory and gold, and added just a bit of some foam adhesive on there. You can always cut up some of your frames if you want, or you can just use what you've got in your stash. And I'm going to add just some extra dimension. So by putting the gold one right here behind the banner, and then I'm going to add this ivory one up here, and just have my wing overlapping over the top from my angel trio in the background. And then I'm going to grab some more circle elements, just a smaller piece, and layer that on my ivory, and then grab one of these ivory circles to layer on the bottom gold piece. So it is all coming together rather beautifully. And now last but not least, we are going to be taking our shabby chic corners and our liquid adhesive and adhering these to our top corner. So there you have it. We've completed our altered art box. This has so many gorgeous details and dimension. I think I love how this has been curved, and I think it would be so great to use this on lots of different paper projects. Canvases would be really fun, as well as cards. And just tie up that ribbon and get ready for some holiday cheer. Be sure to share your projects with us using that Club G45 hashtag, and follow along with our card making trio tutorial. And of course, for more awesome tutorials like this one, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Happy paper crafting!